Good afternoon, students. How are you all? Hope you all are doing good and staying safe at home. Right? Had your lunch, all of you? It's lunch time now. Yes, good. Eat healthy, stay healthy, children. Eat healthy food to improve and to increase your immunity power. Okay, if you eat healthy, your immunity power will increase, and your immunity will help you to fight with all types of viruses and diseases. Okay, so eat healthy, stay healthy. Okay, yeah. So in the last class we have started a new lesson. Can you tell me the lesson name, children? Yeah, it's the natural realms of the earth, right? So in the last class we have studied about the four realms of the earth. Can you tell me what are they? Yes, lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, and biosphere. Very good. Okay. So in the last class we have studied about the lithosphere layer, how lithosphere was formed. Yeah, it's a hard, solid part of the Earth's crust on which we all are living is lithosphere. Okay. So the when the planet Earth was formed, the outer layer of the Earth, actually when the planet Earth was formed, it was very hot. It was in the molten form, right? So the outer layer of the Earth, it got exposed to the air, sunlight, and it became cool, and it become very hard on which we are on the layer which we are living today, right? Even today the interior of the earth is in molten form, core. Yes, in the previous lesson we have studied about the interior layers of the earth. So in that we have studied about core, mantle, and crust. So in that we have discussed that core, even today it is in molten form. All the minerals, they are in molten form there. Okay, yeah. So today in the today's class, in the previous class we studied about the formation of lithosphere. Okay, how this lithosphere was formed, what is lithosphere exactly. Okay, this all we discussed today. We have also discussed about the jigsaw puzzle and the moving plates, sea floor spreading, right? Okay, so today we will study about the other concepts which are also responsible for the formation of different landforms on the crust, and different processes with which different landforms are formed. Okay, so when the planet Earth was formed, the first landform which was formed was continent and oceans. So we call them as first order landforms. After this, due to the internal process, due to the internal disturbances, okay, due to the moving plates, we studied about the plate tectonics, right? So due to this, many mountains, hills, plateaus, many mountains, hills were formed. Okay, so these were called as the second order landforms. Okay, even plateaus, due to the internal process, due to the eruption of volcanoes, plateaus are formed, right? So the formation of mountains, hills, plateaus, we call them as the second order landform. So today we are going to study about the formation of third order landform. So for first order landform, moving plates, continents and oceans were formed. Okay, when we have studied about the continental drift theory, which was propounded by the geophysicist Alfred Wegener. So he propounded how these continents and oceans are formed, which were also called as first order landform. Next, mountains, plateaus, hills, they are the second order landform. Today you will study formation of third order landform, what are the third order landforms and how they are formed, with what they are formed. Okay, so with the force of water and wind, these third order landforms are formed. The third order landforms are deltas, canyons, gorges, V-shaped valleys, okay, carved mountains, sand dunes, these all come under third order landforms. Okay, so with the pressure of water and with the pressure of winds, these landforms are formed. Okay, so that all we are going to study in today's class, right? Okay, shall we start with the concept? Yeah. So for the formation of the new landforms on the crust, two movements are responsible. They are slow movement, sudden movement. Internal process, external process. With these two processes, new landforms are formed on the crust. Okay, so the process which is taking inside the earth, we call them as internal process, and they come under the slow movement. It takes very slowly. It takes place very slowly. It takes lot of time, many years to change the or to occur such landforms. Okay, so moving plates, formation of the crust, movement of the continental plates, these all come under the slow movement. Okay, and the next one is sudden movement. What are sudden movement? Sudden movements are it occurs by the name itself, you can say suddenly it occurs. This also happens because of the internal process only. Okay, what type of internal process? Like plate tectonics, moving of plates, right? And due to the this crust goes under the mantle, again mantle mixes with the core, again it changes into the molten form, liquid form, again volcanoes erupt, again this lava come out. So this happens continuously, but it takes time, and after it happens and suddenly when it erupts, we call it as sudden movement. So sudden movements are volcanoes, earthquakes, which leads to the changes in the landform. Have you heard of the volcanoes and earthquakes in your previous classes? Yeah. So due to it, it result in the great loss, great damage to property, to the nature, as well as to the lives of the human. Many people who live in these areas where the earthquakes occur, they may die, they may lose their life also, children. Okay, so this volcanoes, earthquakes, they give birth to the new type of landform also. Like when the volcanoes erupt, the magma, the lava which is present deep inside the earth, comes out from the volcanic mountains and spreads on the floor of the earth. When it solidifies and when it cool downs and when it solidifies, it gives the new landform, that is the formation of plateaus. Same with the earthquakes. Due to the earthquakes, many huge mountains, landslides, mountains breaks, landslides take place. Okay, so in this way sea floor spreading will take place. So in this way it again leads to the formation of new types of landforms. Okay, so these volcanoes are responsible for the formation of plateaus. At the same time, it also you can see it due to these plateaus, different types of rocks are formed from this volcanic material, lava, magma, like igneous rocks. The lava which spreads on the earth's surface, when it solidifies and cools down, it turns as igneous rocks, and complete magma will not come out from this will not escape from this volcanic mountain, children. Some part of lava, some amount of lava, magma, it resides inside the earth wherever there are cracks or fissures inside the earth before it reach to the opening of the volcanic mountain. Wherever cracks or fissures are present inside the earth, in the mantle, this lava enters and fills those gaps, fills those fissures. Later it becomes very hard, it solidifies and it becomes hard rocks. So these are formed as intrusive landforms. We call them as intrusive landforms. Okay, and the lava which come out and spreads on the floor of the earth, we call them as extrusive landform, like plateaus. Is that clear to you all? I'll show you the picture. Yes children, once observe this picture carefully. Can you see the magma chamber? Yeah, can you see this vent? So in this side vent, this magma escapes, it leaves there, and it gets cooled down and solidified in these areas only. It won't come out of the this volcanic mountain. Okay, and the remaining lava, it comes out and it spreads on the floor. Along with the lava, you can see the ash, dust particles, smoke, they also liberate and they escape in the atmosphere. And the liquid material, it spreads on the earth, giving rise to the new landform. Is that clear? Okay, so in this way, igneous rocks are formed. Okay, so now we will also study about the Pacific Ring of Fire. Can you see this red line, children? Can you see this? Yeah, this is the Pacific belt, children. Pacific Ocean plate, Pacific plate. So this Pacific plate is the biggest plate among all the plates. So this plate, when it pushes the other plates, volcanoes erupts as it is very strong. Okay, due to this, when it pushes the weaker plates, they submerge and the movements takes place, resulting in the earthquakes. And the volcanoes, as this area is weaker, the volcanoes also erupts from these plates, from the borders of this plate. Okay, so you see all the volcanic mountains. This plate is surrounded with almost all the volcanic mountains, and from this many volcanoes erupts, and this area receives earthquakes very frequently. Okay, so that is why this is called as the Pacific Rim of Fire. Continuously, some or the other time you find volcanoes erupting in this area than other places on the earth. Okay, here you can see the table which shows you the list of important volcanoes in the world. So in these places you find the volcanic mountains which erupts, and magma flows from these mountains. They are Stromboli, it is present in Sicily, Mount Pelée in West Indies, Mount Vesuvius in Italy, Fujiyama Mountain in Japan, Cotopaxi in Ecuador, Mayon in Philippines, Barren and Narcodam Islands in India, Kilimanjaro in Tanzania. So these are the places from where volcanoes erupt. Even today you find if the volcanoes erupts, especially they erupt from these places. Okay, right. So now we will study about the external process. Hope this is clear to you all children about the internal process. The internal process occurs in the two ways: slow movement and sudden movement. Okay, so this happens inside the earth, that is why we call it as internal process. Slow movements are moving of plates, formation of crust and all. Sudden movements are volcanoes, earthquakes. Okay, so this all happens because of the internal disturbances, because of the internal processes this takes place. Because of this process we say that planet Earth is active even today. Okay, yeah. Now we will study about the external process. So what do you mean by external? Outside. Very good. So the process which is taking place outside the earth, we call them as external process. So the planet Earth is surrounded with the other two realms, that is atmosphere and hydrosphere, which we have discussed in the previous class. So due to this hydrosphere is the area which is covered with water bodies. Okay, so this water pressure, movement of water and movement of winds brings to new types of landform. How we will study now. Okay, so the work of water and wind brings different types of landform. We call them as third order landform. Is that clear? Yes. So air and water transform the surface of the earth. So on the crust you find different landforms with the help of air and water, wind and water. So this takes place under certain process called denudation process. What is denudation process? Yeah, formation of new landform. In this process, it takes into this process completes with 4 steps. What are they? Weathering, erosion, transportation and deposition. Now we will discuss what are these 4 processes. First is weathering. So under this denudation process, first step is weathering. Because of weathering, other 3 process takes place, children. Now what is weathering? You have studied that on the crust we find many huge mountains, hills and all. So due to rain, due to heat and due to air, this outer surface of the hills, mountains, they expands, and due to cool they contracts. So this expansion and contraction of the rocks makes them brittle, and due to the heavy rainfall they breaks up very easily, they break down, and the fine layer, outermost layer of these hills, mountains, it breaks and it fall down, and this material which breaks is carried out to other areas with the help of erosion, transportation and deposition. Is that clear what is weathering? So weathering is the breaking of the mountain, hill, outermost layer of the mountain, hill or any solid material, any rock. Okay. So this happens because of the contraction and because of the expansion of rocks. You can do one small experiment, children. You take one rock and you hit it with the hammer. The outermost layer of the rock breaks up very easily, but once you start breaking the interior of the rock, it takes time. Why? Yeah, because the outermost layer of the rock is exposed to the air and water and sunlight, so it becomes brittle and it breaks up very easily than the interior of the rock. Same here. Is that clear, children? Okay. Next is erosion. What is erosion? This material which was broken by the process of contraction and expansion will erode, will fall, it falls down. Okay, and this is carried out by the water and by the pressure of water and air. When it rains heavily, runoff, during that time this get eroded, it get washed away. This process is called erosion, right? Next is transportation. So this process of erosion will help this debris, this break up materials to move from one place to another place. So it is moving from one place to this debris, dust, sand, solid, small gravels, small particles which formed during weathering is eroded and it is transported at one other place with the help of wind and water. This is called transportation. So this material, this debris is moving from one place to another place. We call it as transportation. And the next is deposition. What is deposition? This debris which is transported from one place to another place. After reaching to a place, when the pressure of the water and air decreases, it gets deposited. It leaves it there itself, forming to the new landform. So this is called process of deposition. Understood, children? So this wind and water process is the work of air and water transforms the surface under this denudation process, and this denudation process has 4 steps: weathering, erosion, transportation and deposition. Is that clear to you? Yeah. Here we will discuss few examples how these new landforms are formed with the help of this denudation process. Shall we? Okay. Right. So the first is work of water. With the force of water when it rains heavily, first when the water drops falls, when the rain falls on the mountains, the outer layer of the mountain, as they are slopy, they get eroded and it start breaking. The outer layer of the mountain start breaking. So in this way, when it breaks, it becomes steep slopes, and from this steep slope the water start flowing. Same happens with the another mountain also. If there are the mountain ranges, when the rain falls, so due to the pressure of the water, the outer layer of the mountain, it breaks, especially on the steep side. So it leads to the V-shaped valleys, and from these valleys the water, as these are the lowest points on the mountains, the water from the top it flows to the valleys, and from there streams, tributaries, rivers start flowing. As it is on the, as the water flows from the steep, the pressure of the water is very high. So along with the water, it also carries the pebbles, the stones, small gravels, silt, mud which is broken during the rainfall. Okay, so it also carries along with it, and while flowing as stream, tributaries and river, and it moves to a long distance. It goes to after reaching a long distance, when the pressure decreases, it leaves the debris there, forming to the plain landforms. Okay, so the Himalayan mountains, the rivers, Himalayan rivers, Ganga, Brahmaputra and Indus, they gave birth to from there these three rivers, they were responsible for the formation of northern plain, Indo-Gangetic plains. They are formed with this process only. Okay, these northern plains are formed with this process. Earlier it was a basin, deep basin. So this deep basin got filled with the debris brought by these three rivers. As the area in that basin is low, this debris got deposited in that basin, this region, and it formed as plain land. Right? Okay. So work of water, V-shaped valleys are formed. Next, gorges and canyons. So when the water, when the river or streams flow very, especially rivers and tributaries, children, when they flow very fast, and if they come across any huge mountain, so what happens? Continuously the water strikes to the outer layer of the mountain. So slowly, after many years, continuously, when it strikes the when it strikes the mountain, it breaks the rocks there, and the water passing from the gap of that rock. So this movement of water for many years makes the sides of the mountain also collapse, break down, and it forms small gorges, right? And from the mountain, instead of the river going from another side, it breaks the mountain and it finds the way from the rocks. Okay, breaking the rocks inside, and this water force will break the sides of break the mountain layers, okay, mountain side walls, and it escapes, the water escapes and the water moves from that small narrow gaps which are called as gorges. Okay, and when these gorges are equal in width at the top and at the bottom, okay, when it rains heavily, some huge mountains which are delicate, they breaks up from the top, and the same process happens down with the help of rivers. So you find that these rivers are breaking the mountains and going from the mountains, okay, and these give birth to canyons. And due to the rain process and due to the force of the water, as the mountains, few stones or few rocks are delicate or easy to break, which are not so hard, very hard, they breaks up with the force of water, and due to the expansion and contraction, they breaks up very easily. So they form as broader canyons, okay. So you can see at the top also they are very broader, and at the down the width is smaller. How much the water is flowing, that much width you find there. So this water force will give birth to gorges and canyons. I'll show you the pic of canyon. Yes, can you see the canyon, children? Yeah, so here you can see it was a mountain earlier. So the force of the water, it hit the mountain and it escaped from the mountain, and it broke the side walls of the mountain, taking its way, and it went to the other side. Can you see, children? So in this way canyons and gorges are formed. Okay, so these canyons, difference is canyons are very broader at the width and narrower at the bottom, but whereas gorges, they are equal in size at the width, equal in width at the bottom as well as at the top. Okay, children, these are the difference between gorges and canyons, and both are formed with the work of water, with the flow of river, right? Okay, so next is the formation of plunge pool. So this plunge pool is formed near the waterfall. When the water falls from the height of the mountain down, with the pressure of the water, it becomes due to the pressure of the water, the area where it falls becomes deep because it hits the stones, rocks there, and it forms the gap. It forms as it hits the stone or rock there, the rocks breaks and it forms the deep land, which called as plunge pool. Okay, so here near the waterfalls you find the plunge pool. Next, formation of plains. Just now we discussed, when the mountains breaks when the outer layer of the mountain breaks due to the water, rainfall, okay, so the debris which it carries like sediments, small rocks, pebbles, stones, mud, sand, it all carries, and where the pressure is low, there water pressure is low, there especially after reaching to after it travels a long distance, and when the water level decreases, water pressure decreases, this debris is deposited at that place, and it as continuously it deposits the debris, it forms the plain land due to the slow movement of water. It just washes the debris and help the debris to settle in the gaps wherever wherever these gaps are present, wherever the low lands are present, and this slow movement of water fills those gaps, giving birth to plain land form. Right, children? Next, formation of deltas. When the river flows continuously, before it mixes the oceans and seas, suppose if the river is flowing and any elevated, if it comes across any elevated land, the river takes diversion. Okay, it moves from the other sides wherever it finds a slope. So it moves, it takes the divergent, and sub rivers are formed, and through these sub rivers it mixes in the oceans and seas. So here you can see the formation of triangular landform. This triangular landform is called as delta, which are very rich in humus, alluvial soil. As these rivers, when it when it gets when it breaks, the pressure also decreases because the water capacity decreases, and the silt, whatever they carry along with them, they slowly deposit in this level, because they enter as soon as the water enter the plain land, the pressure decreases. If it is slope, then it moves, it goes very fast. But once water reach plain areas, the pressure of the flow of water decreases automatically. Right, children? So in this way deltas are formed. Next, meanders and oxbow lakes. So when the water water is flowing in the form of streams. Okay, sometimes what happens, it gave water body, it